Hey, it's your boy, Sergeant Hooked on Heroes, with another review slash recap for Kamen Rider Geats, episode 26. This is probably one of my favorite form debut episodes, and I think for many reasons. For the basic Kamen Rider reasons, but then also for some very specific shonen anime-like reasons. And I'll get into that. But this is a pretty badass episode. So we started off and we find out that the real, evil plan behind everything with the Jamato Grand Prix with this first round, is that they are trying to create a lightning generator, basically, that's going to destroy the town, destroy the area, whatever, cause damage, kill people. And so that's what they're trying to stop. That's what the riders are trying to stop. And so, leading off from last week, we still have the fight going on between Michinaga and Geats, right? Geats ends up sidestepping the final attack from Buffa Command Twin, right? And ends up kind of forcing him off, and also the Knight Jamato, who's really, Toru, the friend of his, not really, but kinda. And we get a couple different scenes of Michinaga and not Toru talking to each other. And they're pretty good scenes, and it's clear that Michinaga is struggling with it, at least a little bit, because he does miss his friend, but he's not quite sure it really is his friend. And I do like that they play with that a little bit, but they do some interesting stuff in the end, and I kind of like that. We'll get there too. We also get an interesting scene with Daichi, who is talking to Baraba, and mentions about, that the Jamato are so fascinating, and blah, blah, blah. And she offers him a Jamato buckle. And it seems as though he might want to take it. And he's not sure if he's going to use it right this moment, but I have a feeling that Daichi's going to be kind of a dark horse type player later on in the story. So I think that'll be really interesting to see come together. I think that'll be really cool. So eventually, Ace and Neon and Keiwa go out and fight again, but they kind of get their butts kicked. Really more Neon and Ace. Or not Neon, sorry, Neon and Keiwa. They get really, really badly injured to the point they can't even go out there and fight. So it's Ace by himself. And people keep mentioning throughout that episode about how, there's something special about Ace. What's going on with him? Why does he think he can handle this on his own? Even Sumuri warns him that, there's something more going on here, and you need to be careful. It's interesting because Neon, Keiwa, and Ace were at that little festival. And they're just hanging out because the DGP is on pause anyway. So they're just hanging out with the people there, with the little boy from last week, who Geats ends up talking to because he seems really upset, and he finds out that his mom's very sick, and that he wanted to, I guess part of this festival is facing off against these Oni, and if he does so, he'll get a wish granted, and blah, 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 and his wish is to, to make his mom healthy again. It's a nice little parallel between the little boy and Ace, who I think also is seeing a bit of himself in this little boy, in the way that his entire goal, his entire existence, and everything he wants to do is all for his mother, same as Ace. So we have a few little cute scenes right there where they're doing festival stuff and hanging out or whatever, and then eventually the Jamato attack again. This is where Keiwa and Neon get injured really badly, and Ace is on his own. And so he goes out there, and Michinaga and the Knight Jamato / not Toru go out there, and they all transform and start fighting. And Ace is holding his own at first, but is starting to get his butt kicked a little bit. Interestingly enough, Michinaga does not go back into Twin Command form again, which is interesting because it is his strongest form, but it's fine. They're fighting, and they're kind of kicking his ass, honestly. And he ends up, he kind of laughs at them. They're like, why are you smirking? Why are you acting like you have the upper hand here? He's like, well, I do. He's like, you have no idea of the strength of my resolve. He has Boost in his hand, pulls it out, holds it up to the sky, and screams, and it says basically I need the power now. And we see a huge explosion in the sky, and in space 4 different flaming meteors basically come down to Earth. And as they get closer, we see they're in the shape of boost buckles. What the hell? Each of them come together, kind of form together into a ball, hit Ace and his boost buckle, and create what is now known as the Boost Mark II buckle. This is a never-before-seen buckle in the game, completely created by Geats himself somehow, clearly being the possibility that he is the spawn of a desire goddess, and creates the buckle. And it has the one side of it, it's really cool. It's designed. I actually ordered the set, the Laser Raise Riser set, plus the Boost Mark II buckle. But it's really cool. It looks like Boost. I have Boost somewhere around here. But it's got where the handle right there, but then it's got 1, 2, and then 3, 4 foxtails on it. It's fucking nice. And it slots right on, and He uses it and he transforms. And what's cool is they put this really cool voice filter on it where you hear 5 versions of Ace talking at the same time. We'll get to why I said 5 versions of in just a little bit. But get the debut. And it's fucking bad ass. Oh my god, this form is so beautiful. It's so well put together. The red is my favorite color. So other than like most vibrant purples that we see in Sentai, red is my favorite color. So when like a suit is primarily red or has a good amount of red to it, yes. And he beats the piss out of both of them, out of Michinaga and Toru, honestly. Very fast, lots of flaming punches, very much Shoryuken, Street Fighter-esque type fighting. He's doing a lot, doing quite a bit. And it's really impressive. Really good footwork, really good choreography, just in general, really impressive fight overall. Kicks the shit out of them for a while, and then eventually we see the Revolve On feature doesn't necessarily swap the parts to his bottom half, because really when you use Boost Mark II, it actually kind of covers all of you. Most buckles just cover the top half, and the bottom half is left open for the other buckle on the other side. Not with Boost Mark II. Very interesting. And especially when you throw into their Laser Boost Mark II, which is supposed to be the next upgrade past this. But what it does, it turns him into the Boost Striker, but just like a Mark II version of it, the like Fox thing. And he kicks the shit out of Toru with that. And Michinaga ends up kind of landing down on the ground, kind of reeling after an attack a little bit, kind of woozy. And Toru's up in a building, kind of weakened. And he reached out to Michinaga and he says, "Hey, Michinaga, I need your help. Come back up here. I need you to help me get up and help me take out Geats. Come on." And he's like, "Why would I help you?" He's like, "What? Because we're friends." He goes, "Why would I ever be friends with a fake? You're not the real Toru. You never were." And I love this. I love this nice little tiny itty bitty reveal here that Michinaga was never truly led on by him, and that it was always a play to see how far he could get using him as basically a bodyguard / cannon fodder. I love that. Michinaga is always... It's funny how Michinaga acts like he's nothing like Geats, but he's very similar in the way of being okay with manipulating people. At least more so now than he was before. And I like that. Almost like Geats has rubbed off on him in a certain way. So I really like this for Michinaga, that he didn't have the wool pulled over his eyes and he didn't really think this was Toru. That was pretty cool. That was pretty badass, honestly. So he ends up letting Toru get completely just destroyed by the Rider Kick from Boost Mark II. Ace on dehensions and is doing okay or whatever, and the towers are all gone. He went through and destroyed all the lightning generating tower things, and at the same time, this is playing at the same time as it's juxtapositioned against scenes of the little boy at the festival standing up to the Oni. And I've come to find out his mom was one of them, that she ended up, I don't know when this happened, but somehow she must have recovered and wanted to surprise him and ended up being there at the festival. So everything's all good and he's happy too. Again, I don't know, I kind of have a soft spot for these goofy little insert the kid into the story type things. To me, it harkens back to original Kamen Rider, because I've seen all of Ichigo and they did storylines like that, not all the time, but sometimes where kids would be involved and they were usually pretty decent. And it's hitting that target demographic. It's making them see that, yes, you can be heroic, you can be a hero, and you don't need to transform. You don't need to fight. You can still be brave and do the right thing. I think that's really important in a show like this. Something that's kind of lost in the world where we currently live right now. The pandemic, how people are acting about things, stuff like that. The positivity of that injection of positivity is nice. So that's all good and dandy. And then we get this gigantic mega lore drop where... Niram has gone and collected the previous wishes that Ace has made. But not just Ace, 4 other separate Aces, because it is revealed that Ace, a long-ass time ago, wished to be reincarnated, however many times it took to gain the power he needed to bring down the DGP and eventually find his mother. So they reveal there's 4 other personas that use the boost buckle at some point, like an Ace Garfield and like all these other goofy names on there. And that's where those boost buckles came from. He literally forced the buckles from other dimensional pocket storyline, timelines of himself to burst through the the wall there and become combined with his own boost buckle to gain more power. Like he willed that kind of a thing to happen. It's very shonen, very, very Dragon Ball Z-esque, very, last minute power up to defeat the bad guy type thing. Like something like, Goku turning Super Saiyan for the first time, or Gohan going Super Saiyan 2 for the first time. Something like that. It was really cool, and I really like this episode. It's very simple in the way it does things, but I think for a Form debut episode, it works pretty well, both in dealing with the aspects of Geats and how he treats people and how he deals with people, juxtaposition against the little boy and also against Michinaga and his whole thing with not Toru. We did get another interesting little thing where he's talking to Jean, because he talks about him fighting Baraba and everybody, and he's mentioning to Geats how, we'll get back out there and fight. Like, you can handle this. It's fine. You have nothing to worry about. He goes, yes, we do. He's like, what do you mean? He goes, there's innocent lives. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, the people at the festival. Like, there's more to this than just the game. You need to realize that. Maybe if you stop for a second to care about this world, it will be less of a game and you would give a shit more and you'd learn something. I think that's really cool. I like that he's kind of like lambasting Jean a little bit, because Jean is a fine character, but I think he needs to be pushed a little bit to understand why Geats operates the way he does. And it's kind of sad, because he's like, but I'm a big fan of yours. And he goes, I know you are, but you truly don't understand anything about me if you don't understand that at the core of me is wanting to protect people and wanting to keep people safe and stop people who are, evil and trying to hurt people from doing that. So I'm thinking this is going to lead into eventually whatever happens with the whole laser, Boost Mark II upgrade thing. Which if you look online, there's many different places posted on Twitter, Toku Twitter, of, I think the Bandai Mania YouTube page finally showed off that jingle. Fucking beautiful, and it looks so cool. As soon as I get it, absolutely a Toku Toy View, and absolutely going to be right there, displayed. But yeah, it was an absolutely awesome debut episode, a Form debut episode. I really liked it. I love how Boost Mark II looks. Hoping it stays around for a while, longer than like in Revice, where Jacked Revice wasn't there for very long before it became, Thunder Gale, or before, Buried Rex became Volcano Rex and all of that. So, hoping it stays around longer, but I'm not so sure, just because Laser Boost Mark II just like layers the like Laser Rider, white armor over the Boost Mark II suit, and I think it looks cool. I think it's cool. To me, it looks like a futuristic, almost Digivolution in a way of Boost Magnum, or Magnum Boost, I mean. So I think that's really cool. But anyway, yeah, so I really liked the episode. I would say, rating-wise, probably a strong 9.5 out of 10, honestly. Not necessarily a 10 out of 10. I think a few things could like slowed it down a little bit. The Michinoku stuff was decent, but it was paced a little oddly. And same thing with the little kid. I think that stuff could have been like paced or like tied in more deeply to what was going on. But overall, it was still entertaining and really, really good. But let me know in the comments below, what did you guys think of this week's episode of Geats? What do you guys think of the Boost Mark II suit and what it looks like? Is it one of your favorite suits? Do you hate it? Whatever. The episode overall, love it, hate it, in the middle. Favorite moments, things like that. I do appreciate all of you beautiful, beautiful people subscribing to me. I'm up to about 400 and almost 30 subscribers now, which is absolute insanity. And we had a milestone at the Henshins and Homies page for the podcast. We are just over 100 subscribers there. So I'm very, very proud of that. Thank you guys so much for your support and love. We really appreciate it. This week for content, clearly going to follow this up with a King Ocher episode 2 review. And also this week on the podcast, we're going to be having Marco Satsu on talking about our favorite and least favorite or worst Toku video games. And then also talking about villains, our favorite villains, why we like them, why we think they were right, and stuff like that. So I think it'll be a fun episode to have him on there for, something Toku related that he can have a good time with. Yeah, so I guess until next time, you guys stay hooked on them heroes. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.